What's up, Trap?
Man, I'm blessed, man. I'm here, man. Happy to be here. iKON Radio, man. We
Yeah.
here.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing,
I think
man.
it's amazing that you're here. I was so excited to find out that you were our guest tonight. You're such a legendary human being, and I love your heart.
Hold on. How do you feel about that, Trap?
I still got work to do, man. You know, the reason that I feel like my run has been different than everybody else's because every year I just reset and pretend like I'm the new Jack on the scene.
Yeah.
I gotta beat out everybody. I gotta bully everybody out of their spot. If you eating, I'm gonna take your lunch from you. It's just always been my motto, you know. Haters for the weak. Y'all already know.
Why so humble though? Like
Always humble.
Who am I to be above that?
That's so real. That's like the realest answer I ever. Love it, man. I got a lot of love for Trap though, because his hustle is extraordinary. You know, it's unmatched in multiple lanes besides the music. He's been consistent with it. There's multiple things that he's been involved with. But I think right now, what's going on with you right now might be one of the biggest.
Yeah. You know, the Phoenix Children's Miracle Network hospitals, they reached out to me, man, and, you know, told me a story of a young man that was born, you know, without a lower jaw, never tasted food before, never drinking water, breathes through a trach, completely mute, cannot speak, cannot make any type of noise out of his mouth, aspires to be a rapper.
Wow. And
they asked me, you know, if it was something that I would, you know, be interested in participating in. And for me, you know, hip hop has always been a machine to kind of tell stories that are often left untold or, you know, just not picked up by the media. So it's your wildest dream to actually be in a situation where you can speak for the voiceless. So it was just a very unique concept, and there was no way that I would turn down the challenge, because it was a challenge, you know, to try to make music with somebody that cannot speak. Yeah. You know, you want to hope that it comes out the exact way that they imagine it in their head.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and the young man you're talking about is Isaiah.
Yes, sir.
17 years old?
17.
And really cool kid. I haven't had a chance to meet him. I've seen him around at events. I've seen pictures, and obviously I've seen the video and everything.
Shout out to Isaiah. You know, I was nervous meeting him. You know, I didn't know how things were going to be. You know, how are we going to communicate? You know, so I get there, and you know, he cool. His swag on 3 million. You know, you can't tell Isaiah nothing.
That's so awesome.
The boy was dressed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the first thing I was like, hey man, I like your shoes. You know what I'm saying? And then he gave me his phone number, and then I was like, okay, no, this dude can talk. You know,
yeah.
We just have to communicate through text. You know, we communicate back and forth real fast, and you know, we put the record together, man, and it was just a very, very unique scenario, man. He picked the beat. You know, his lyrics were kind of in the form of a poem.
Right.
So, you know, I took that and kind of translated and interpreted, you know, through his poem and made it into a song. And that's what you have, man.
How challenging was that to take his words and make sure that you had the right flow when you recorded them? Well,
for me, it's a little bit different because I feel like my pen is very diverse. I don't write just in the rap lane, period. So I pretty much write in all genres of music. So the challenge wasn't, you know, can I get this to rhyme over a beat? The biggest challenge for me was, is it going to be up to what his imagination has imagined?
And he said yes.
Yeah, I mean, we went through a few different cadences before we settled on, you know, the kind of the choppy, aggressive delivery. I kind of gave him, you know, a few different ways that we can cut the pizza. And, you know, that's what he wanted. He liked that. He's like, yeah, you know, cut it like that. And that's what we did, man.
So how does his family feel about all of this and you being involved so much in his life right now?
They loved it, man. You know, of course, they're very protective of Isaiah for good reason. You know, you would never hope to subject your kid to anything that's going to hurt him.
Right.
So they're a part of the process, man. They invited me into the family. I've had burritos. I've had pozole.
Nice.
So
you know,
they're Mexican then?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, they took me in, and I feel like I'm part of the family now, man.
It's music hits us in so many different ways. Like you don't necessarily have to have a voice to get your music across. You know what I mean? And I think because of that, when you break it down, it's so inspiring to so many people. And now
I cried.
how many hits do we have? Like I've seen like 12 million views on the thing.
Well, and then today though, I saw that you made a post and it's in Italy. Is that what you said?
Italy, the Netherlands,
It's
Asia.
all over the
It's just
world.
crazy because
It went global.
Oh my God, it gets me
so many people want to do something and they can't. And I think it's a beautiful story for hip hop, and I'm proud that it's an artist like yourself who helped this young man, you know, from our city, from our scene.
It's so amazing, and you're just the instrument, you know, being used for this thing, and
Right.
it's so cool.
When you have people reach out to you like Talib Kweli, MC Hammer,
iKON.
Tila Tequila.
These are all people
iKON.
that have shared
Yes.
it, and they've reached out to you as well.
Yeah. And you know, for people to just be like, you know, that's dope. You know, these people are ultra elite in their industries, and for them to recognize, you know, Arizona. More importantly, that's all I've been screaming everywhere I go. I just got back from South by Southwest.
Yeah.
And the staff there that were in the room, you know, when we went there. So first, initially, we were supposed to be in a small room, you know, for, you know, small amount of press. And the video went viral in between us traveling to Texas. So when we get there, all of a sudden, they need a bigger room for us because more people are interested in the story.
Wow.
And we go on this panel and they say it's the most amazing, most unique, most inspiring panel that they've ever witnessed in the history of South by Southwest. We can quote that.
Well, it really shows us how if we learn to accept one another despite our differences, like you mentioned, and we come together and help one another out, how big of an impact we can make. Like, you know, some people may have overlooked him or someone like him or somebody that has something different about them. And if you just learn to accept somebody, you can really make such a strong difference in this world.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we have a teenager at home. And he's like, "Oh, this song is lit," and it's a little, you know, Uzi Vert. You know, shout out to Uzi. You know what I mean? He makes dope music, but at some time, like you gotta think. You know what I mean? And you're still that generation of art where you're making the listener think.
Well, it depends to your teenager. He was listening to cool music the other day.
That's true. Yeah.
And you know, the crazy thing about it is, you know, Arizona is still not at the table yet. You know, we still trying to, you know, be heard and establish who we are, and you know, to be in this position to, you know, take a chance at shooting the basketball right now to introduce Arizona on a global level is it's an amazing feeling, man. And you know, people look at me and they see Trap House and they think that I just make 808 music, and I never gave it. I never even put out a full 808 project. Blaze, you would know above anybody.
Yeah,
man.
That's real. You've had street records. You know what I'm saying? But
and people,
like
they always want to try to put me in that box, like, oh, he only made. I never only made street music.
You always, Trap's always come to me with like new records. Like, yo, what do you think about me going in this lane? I'm like, man, you go in that lane. You know what I mean? But you know the trap that I love. You know what I mean? That get it. You know what I'm saying? Back to the real shit. You know what I mean? And you've always been that artist. And actually for this, like you said, they reached out to you for this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it just happened that way. They could have picked anybody, you know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were doing some research and looked around at some rappers.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they told me, look, man, we see that you are a man of the community.
Yeah.
We didn't
Absolutely.
even want to look at anybody else once we stumbled across you. We kept our fingers crossed that you would say, yes, you'll do it. And I feel like they should have just knew before they even reached out. Like, you know, all right, this is that type of person.
And I feel like I feel like no other artist could have done it any, you know,
as he would do
as
with
he
such
would have done
humility.
it, you know
and
what I'm
the cool
saying?
thing is too that to add to how humble you are, you can tell that you've been in the community, as they notice, with so many different projects, like Put Down the Guns, you know, all of that. And a lot of the times people don't always rally up behind you, and that's going to happen with all of us when we try to do something, because it's just hard to get people to support what you're doing. But the thing that shows the most through those situations is that you never stopped doing it regardless.
Right.
So that means that it was never about you. It was about what you really believe was the bigger thing to do.
Right.
Is it,
That's because
is it your responsibility, Trap?
It's not my responsibility, but I take it because I feel like I'm big bro now. I had to become that young OG early. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not OG rank at all, but I had to take that because and it's no disrespect to the current student OGs, but they wasn't doing what they were supposed to do.
Speak on it.
They wasn't.
Speak on it, though. But speak on it.
No guidance, no direction. The little homies out here just doing whatever, and they think that cutting each other down is the only way that they can shine. I got all my brothers standing next to me, and they shining like solid gold right now.
Yeah. Shout out to the Black family. Del Fuego.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mula, Play Loco, who recently on the scene. You know what I'm saying? Devastation.
Monster. Mabalati.
Like they're consistent. And that it's trickled down to the team. You know what I mean? And the business is on point. Like,
and all I did was co-sign my little homies.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
that's how
when
you're
I walk
supposed to
into
do.
A building, you treat these young men that come with me with the same respect that you give me.
But they also represent the brand.
Yeah.
Well, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everybody they represent each other. You know what I mean?
Are they also involved into community projects as you are?
Yeah, they may not be as involved as me at times.
Yeah.
But they embrace everything that I do. And we go into, because we're not all from the same neighborhood. Then we'll do projects in their neighborhood where I had to stand them up like, all right, bro, we going in your backyard, man.
You're so
you
cool.
got to be the front man in this. I'm not from the south side. I'm from the west side. Everybody know that. So, I can only do so much, but I always, when I check in, I'll go tap in with the south side and speak to, the young brothers in those communities. And, we chop, we politic. Hey, man, I'm coming over here to do this in y'all backyard, man. I hope y'all come show up. We doing it.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that y'all are part of it. Respectfully, it's your neighborhood.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. That's how it's supposed to be, though. So.
Yeah. Thank you for being the example.
Yeah.
You're a really great example to not only the community, but to the world, I would have to say.
No, yeah, it's so big. I mean, like you said, it's spread. It's all over the place. And just think, man, like you're inspiring an artist or an MC, a young MC out there somewhere.
Yeah.
To possibly do something like this for somebody else, which could turn into something else. And
or
then,
to somebody who didn't think that they could do something, and now they are. Now they have the courage because they see Isaiah fulfilling his dream despite whatever challenges he has to face.
Right,
now it gives people the courage to go for it.
It's just a win for everybody, man. And in the state of hip-hop today, I think it's a beautiful thing.
I think it's iconic.
Let's